Got some breaking news here. Justin still confirming this. Well, actually, we have some confirmation that the CBN has called, that's the Central Bank of Nigeria, has called banks and stating that the rate cap on the I&E window has been removed. Hence, banks and participants in the investors and exports window are allowed to trade freely at any rate subject to a 1 naira spread between the buy and the sell. So if you're trading in the I&E window, which is for investors and exporters, the pool where they go in to trade the US dollar, the cap has been taken off. Now, again, this is in line with the intentions of the new administration to move to a unified exchange rate. You're going to actually hop on FMDQ and take a look at where the naira is going to be trading, because as at last count, the rate on the I&E window was about 471. That was before the June 12th public holiday. So if the CBN is now allowing the Central Bank of Nigeria, remember we've got temporary leadership since the removal of Godwin Emefiele there, basically allowing banks to trade freely at any rate, that means, ladies and gentlemen, that we are moving towards that single rates promised by President Tinubu. So we're going to be getting some more information on this as it flows in. But this is huge, because basically this means that the cap is taken off, and that 1 naira spread really pretty much means that between for a buyer of the US dollar and a seller of the dollar in that pool, that spread is no more than 1 naira. So that's going to have an impact on the parallel market, which might actually obliterate the parallel market if we have a free floating exchange rate, which is going to be determined by participants by the Central Bank of Nigeria. So huge news here with respect to the intentions of the new administration in getting that unified rate. And we're actually going to see how the market is going to react to this. The market is still trading for in a few more hours. Remember, yesterday the market popped by 3.99% after the removal of the central bank governor, Godwin Emefiele. So now you've got this news of the CBN allowing traders to freely determine the rates with a 1 naira spread. That's with the investors and exporters window. So massive news here that's going to have an impact on the exchange rate, foreign investment, and a lot else as far as Nigeria is concerned. So big news. All right, entrepreneurs, they're going to be affected as well. Entrepreneurs across Africa, particularly female entrepreneurs, continue to face the challenge of financing. Now, the president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, has stated that the continent has a $42 billion financing gap for women, and has advised financial institutions across Africa to work towards bridging that gap. He stated that there was a need for banks to create tailored products to cater for the needs of women that would de-risk financing to women and women-led businesses, and has urged banks to ensure that they end that and get more over to them. So joining us to discuss further, Yinka Osifeso, who's the founder of the Afrocentric and lifestyle brand Orekelewa Organics, I hope I pronounced that correctly, a company that offers food, hair, and skincare products made with natural products sourced from Africa. You're very welcome. I got to bring you in on this breaking news, though. Are you you source products from within Africa, right, and yes, export them? Yes. So are you impacted with the whole foreign exchange dynamic and this big news we're hearing with the central bank freeing this cap? Are you impacted by FX? Do you have any FX pressures on what you do as your business? Yes, we do. Yes, we do, because we get some of our raw materials from outside Nigeria, and then we have to use FX with. So that way. And you use the black market, right? Are you able to get FX at 470 something? I'm still on the queue. It's affecting everybody. This is massive news. So we're going to be seeing if this pans out. That means everyone will have a single rates. We'll move towards a unified rate. Okay, great stuff. What do we do about this financing gap? Are you, as far as what you've been doing, can you pronounce your business name? Orekelewa Organics. Orekelewa Organics. All right. How has it been accessing finance for you? Okay, so it would interest you that in the 7 years that we've been in existence, we've not been able to access loan. What? Yes. How? There's loans everywhere. Okay, so what's the problem? Okay, so for us, initially it was, of course, the interest rates were very, very high. And then at the time we're looking at it, when you look at it against our turnover at the end of the day and the operational cost, it wasn't making sense to take those loans. Yeah. So what we did was to re-strategize our operations, and rearrange our cash flow processes, which
that's what we're working with.
Okay, so you see, now that we got this breaking news with this freeing of the FX rate, and this is part of what President Tinubu said in his inauguration. He also said that he wants to see lower interest rates for businesses. So I don't know if you listened to the speech or you heard that, but what would that mean for you if the president can get lower interest rates for business like yourself?
That's fantastic. That would be fantastic news to every average businesswoman, especially because we are the ones who are affected most by access finance, in Nigeria. So
if you aren't able to get a loan, how have you financed your business? What's the magic to doing that? How do you can't get money from a bank?
So at Orekelewa Organics, we've been very, very innovative in our processes.
Okay.
And I would say that our business is one that is an example of a business that can thrive without loans. We've done that for 7 years now. And so our strategy is to have a distributorship scheme.
Okay.
And we also have our products in the large supermarkets, and then we also have the wholesalers scheme and retailers, of course. So what that does for us is, whilst our money is being held in some supermarkets, the distributors are the ones who pay cash to us. And so that is what we're able to use to run the business.
Right, but I mean, when you first thought of your business and getting off the ground, it had to have been either personal savings or friends and family to get the money to get it off the ground, right?
Yeah, so that was friends and family. That was family.
That's still the friends and family, the bank of the friends and family, bank of mommy and daddy and cousins and so on. I want to quickly ask you about made in Nigeria products, right? How do we, because you do skincare and food and all these other things, right? Has that been a smooth process in you being able to access raw materials made here in order to use that to produce what you make?
I'd say yes and no. I'd say yes because we have raw materials here in Nigeria.
We're blessed with them.
Yes, we're blessed with a lot of them.
Yeah.
But the problem with accessing raw materials for us in Nigeria is because they're nowhere regulated. So someone might have a farmland full of shea nuts and trees and decide not to sell, or decide to harvest coconuts that are not matured. And so we have those kind of issues and problems. However, what we've been able to do is to streamline our suppliers over time, obviously from mistakes and errors, here and there, and then we've been able to, streamline those who would give us some particular products or raw materials, and so we've stuck to them.
What role does access to power play in your costs?
That's major.
It's huge, yeah?
It's major. If we go through our expenses, it's like the third biggest, taking the biggest chunk. So even before the change of government, we knew that subsidy was going to be removed because it was said here and there, and so what we've been positioned to do is to change our source of supply. So we're planning to change to solar panels.
Well, you see, that was our last segment. We were just talking to the Chief Business Officer of Watts Renewable Corporation. Okay, so wait, this is something you just said that was very important there. You said even before the change in administration, you knew subsidies were going to be removed, so you started planning towards that.
Yes.
See, very important how communication from governments to the business sector is important so people can plan. Okay, well, fuel subsidies have been removed now, so your costs going to go up? Obviously, yeah? Or
yes, it would go out, but because we had that information before now, we're able to stock raw materials.
Yeah.
And so, because we're very nice to our customers, of course,
so
we love them. So, in the next 2 months, they're sure to still buy our product at the rate that it's been sold for.
Looks like distribution networks are very important with your business. What about exports? You're going to export African Continental Free Trade Area. What do you make of it? Will you be able to export your shea butter, hair stuff, and food to Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, and all these other places? What do you make of the agreement?
Okay, so the agreement is fantastic, of course, because the idea is to aim at, creating a single market, for African countries, for products and services, and it's, of course, to increase growth and sustainability and all of that. So that's what every major entrepreneur wants to do, and we're well positioned to do that because, when you see our products, you would most likely think first that it's an international product and not from Nigeria.
Yeah.
And so we are well positioned in terms of our packaging, our labeling, and how it is perceived in the market.
Got to have you back to talk about that, to see how things go with the Africa Continental Free Trade Area and made in Nigeria products. We're blessed with the resources. We got to get that out to other nations. Thank you so much, Yinka Osifeso, the founder of Orekelewa Organics. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.